Приветствую вас, друзья, и добро пожаловать обратно в игру Vampyr. В прошлой серии мы выяснили, что вроде как источником энергии была инфекции. Была Дорис Флетчер, мы справились с ней, и теперь нам нужно сообщить это основателю клуба Аскалон. Эта серия должна была выйти раньше, но у меня случились проблемы, и она некачественно записалась. Так что я снова побегал, так сказать, перепрошел с места сохранения, которое у меня было скопировано. И вот я выполнил поручение найти завещание, открыть сейф. В сейфе лежали... Так, сейчас вам покажу. То эти дорогие часы. Но, видимо, дорогое из них только название, потому что торговец в Вест-Энде мне за них предлагал 20 шиллингов всего. Также я нашел Тадао, того, кого я не смог спасти. С него вот этот астролаб, как его там, астролябий, взял и 400 шиллингов дали. Также, да, выполнил несколько побочных квестов. За кадром случайно так получилось. Но это понятно. Тут осталось найти 2 статьи. Одна статья, я точно знаю. Которая в больнице была. Харриет, вот. У нее там в ночлежке. Точнее, в ночлежке Скай. Ох уж это ночлежка. Ну ладно, так. Кто-то один у нас заболел в Уайтчепеле. С ней все хорошо. Тут на 100%. Сильно. Я нашел Шона Хэмптона, он стал Скалем, и Дайсон Делейни большим монстром. С ними пришлось разобраться. Вот. Лоти тоже стала Скалем, а вот Жизель присоединилась к стражам. По пути, когда я бегал, я случайно их убил, только потом понял, что это они. Ну и в принципе по прокачке. У нас тут все на полную. Также запас крови прокачал. Тут способность прокачал. Теперь 400 урона. Практически фуловый брехун. Ну и бичи драконов фуловый. Также нам стоит поставить саблю Дорис Флетчер. Она очень хорошо справляется. Ну давай, не будем тянуть и отправимся в клуб. О, я смотрю, пригласили леди Эшбери. Здравствуйте, Элизабет.
Elizabeth, what are you doing here?
I've been formally asked to witness your triumph, my dear. After all, isn't it the natural role of a woman to support her man in victory?
But it's you who insisted I join the Ascalon.
Please forgive my giddiness. I'm just overcome by the thrill of finally being allowed within these hallowed halls.
You certainly have an inquisitive mind. It's quite something. Elizabeth Ashbury, only you can make me smile in these difficult times.
And the same to you, Jonathan Rid. Now go have your little chat with the chairman. I can see he's practically bursting to hear your report.
Что ж, видимо, мы с ней подробнее поговорим чуть позже. А нас ждет лорд Редгрейв. Приветствую.
Welcome back to the Ascalon Club, Lance-Bearer. Please tell us the good news. Have you put an end to the epidemic?
My hypothesis was correct. Doris Fletcher was the source of the contagion in this part of town. She was probably the first to be infected.
And you cleansed her before the hunters, I've been told. Well done, Dr. Reed. You thrust your lance and pierced the very heart of the corruption.
И поэтому я типа копьеносец.
I'm just a doctor.
The important thing is, we won a major battle for the survival of London. For that, we salute you.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, I have another task for you. One of the utmost importance. Perhaps even more so than the previous.
I'm listening.
It's time for you to perform a most sacred duty for the club. I want you to recruit a new vampire.
Recruit a new vampire? Are you sending me on some sort of diplomatic mission?
Not exactly. I want you to make Aloisius Dawson the econ he deserves to be.
As you wish, my lord.
Good. Now go.
How would you like me to proceed?
Aloisius is waiting for you at the Dawson estate. Once the deed is done, I'll join you there to celebrate this momentous occasion.
Your word is my command.
Блин, надо было его расспросить. Уже поздно?
Understandably.
Да, можно.
You invited Lady Ashbury. Wouldn't that be breaking one of your cardinal rules? No women allowed.
Not allowed as members, no. But considering the circumstances, I thought you'd like to have her here to witness your triumph.
So it's a temporary admittance, then.
Something of a bargain, considering the crisis we're currently facing.
Вот она как. Давай, что мне делать дальше?
How would you like me to proceed?
Don't worry. Aloisius has had many years to prepare himself. He has studied our kind for decades.
So shall I just let him drink my blood?
Yes. Aloisius will gratefully sup on your blood. His heart will slow, then stop. But he will rise again as one of us, an immortal.
Is there any danger?
Our blood alters a mortal body so deeply that some don't survive the metamorphosis. They die for good. But Mr. Dawson has been preparing himself for a long time.
You invited Lady...
Что?
So,
Something
why Aloisius Dawson?
because he is about to die. And he just may be the most influential man in England. After me, of course.
Какой самонадеянный.
Did he choose me?
No, I did. My decision is very recent, to say the least, but it is entirely mine.
Does he know I'm coming?
He can't wait to become your progeny, Dr. Reed. Especially now that you have shown how strong your lineage is through your sister.
Goodbye, Lord Redgrave.
Ну, это немного странно. В этой игре впервые затронута тема, что не каждый может пережить превращение. Во всех фильмах, что я смотрел, в некоторых сериалах, не полностью, конечно, да даже в мультсериалах, ни одного упоминания о том, что кто-то может не
Are you
пережить.
alright, Jonathan?
Lord Redgrave has just ordered me to turn Aloisius Dawson, to make him my progeny.
I see. And how do you feel about this?
I won't do it. The very thought of it makes me sick.
The real question here is, why has his lordship given you this task?
Do you think it's some sort of trap?
Do you really want to know what I think about this?
I do, yes.
To make an immortal of a soulless blackguard like Aloisius Dawson will only lead to a disaster for London. The man is already dead inside.
Should I refuse? Perhaps politely suggest that Lord Redgrave turned the man into a vampire himself.
Don't you dare, my dear. According to what I've recently discovered, his lordship could kill you for even broaching the subject.
Really? Why?
I've recently found proof that the Earl of Bristol is of lesser lineage and only capable of creating skulls.
Please tell me more about your recent investigation.
As long as you lower your voice.
What would you have me do about Dawson?
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor? Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
Да, нам известно, что он хочет отгородить стеной бедных от богатых.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Ekon like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world. An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control, like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the progeny of the great knight William Marshall, who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor souls survive at all.
How can you be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord Redgrave.
Why so vindictive? You suddenly sound like you're angry.
Forgive me, Jonathan, I hate myself for it, but I feel such pride in my discovery. I'm afraid I just can't help it.
Which is?
He did serve William Marshall, and yes, the blood he covets as a token does truly belong to that legendary knight. But he was never his progeny. His lineage is not so noble.
Goodbye for now, Elizabeth.
Goodbye, my dear. Please.
Так вот, в этой игре впервые затронута тема о том, что люди не переживают, точнее не каждый переживет превращение в вампира, или как тут высказывается Эконом.
It looks like vampires have to obey Mendel's laws when producing progeny. Powers pass from one generation to another. That's why Dawson wants me to sire him.
Не понимаю, как они появляются. Ну да ладно. Ну да, лорд выяснил, что мы можем вот так и вот так. И то, и сё. И поэтому мы супер крутой вампир. Потомок, как выяснилось, одного из очень древних вампиров. Вроде бы так. Так что неудивительно, что он хочет, чтобы я занялся обращением. А я тебя дам. Все, валим. Ждем, пока спадет, иначе заразимся. Отлично. Ну и за время путешествия я поднакопил так шиллингов. Сами видите. Было больше, но я закупился всякими хорошими рукоятями и всяким таким подобным. Вроде сюда. Я надеюсь на это.
It's locked.
Так, найти альтернативный путь. Вспомнить бы куда. Туда. Ну давай поищем. Слышь, где-то воют. Давай сюда сходим. Вот тут кто-то корчится уже. Ай, еще зараженный. Сзади еще один. Что, на слова решил взять, да? Я тебя заметил. Ах ты что? Зацепил все равно, тварь. Подлечимся. Так, куда бы нам пойти?
I think this passage could lead me close to Aloisius Dawson's mansion.
Чё, кто? А, здесь, опа. Вампир. Хотя странно, вроде я в клуб вступил, тогда почему они нападают на меня? Или они так не местные? Здорово. Так, смени-ка я оружие. Держи, у меня супер крутая сабля, прокачивай, фуловая. А мы вот так. Ради одного удара потратил способность, которая откат целый минут. Ну ладно, 1,5 минуты. Ух, не хотелось бы мне в эту канализацию спускаться. Как получилось. Крыска, дай мне свою кровь.
This is despicable.
Отлично, восстановились. О, коробочка. Свинцовая пластина. То, что доктор прописал. Сюда нельзя. Опиум и еще что-то не успел прочитать, отвлекся. Опа, потом какое-то тело. Как туда можно проникнуть? А если...
It's locked, all right.
Понятно. Чувствую битву с боссом. Угадал. Ну-ка проверим. Так себе на жирных противников. Смотри, успел. Вот это он сильный. Ну, вроде сабля его неплохо рубит. Ну, выносливость. Так, за колонной таримся. Интересно, что же это за персона Леон Августин? Опа, и та колонна. Не дам я тебе твою кровь. Опа. Да, вот это плохо, что когда используешь ульту, снимается лог цели. О, ярость волкодов. Как раз эту статью мы и искали. Вот это он не снял. Полагаю, нам сюда, но я хочу там посмотреть, может, куда еще можно. Да, вроде некуда больше. Да, только сюда. Так, а здесь у нас что? Странно пусто. Может, куда запрыгнуть можно? Так, я пришел оттуда. Если сюда. Это так неинтересно. Ну, ставили бы сундучок хоть какой-нибудь. Как-то было бы приятно. Так, там я был, там я был. Тут я не был. А, ну мне походу туда, да? Ладно, давай тогда наверх заглянем. О, я нашел, как к нему добраться.
Louise's father was determined to find and save her.
Давай, если это недалеко. А, да, это недалеко. Походу в этой же канализации. Ну, давай поможем. Че нет?
It's locked.
Отлично.
It's locked, all right.
Вот оно что. А, типа там дверь открыл и все, можно пустить мост, по идее, вниз. Чё, кто-то пришел? Посмотри, какие прокачанные скали. Зараза. Ублюдки. Что вы делаете? Я тебе прыгну, мать. Смотри, блин. Сильные твари. Всего на 3 уровня меня выше. А даже Dark Souls сбалансирован получше в плане противников. Ну, я так думаю. Но тут явный ребаланс. Надеюсь, я правильно выразился. Ну, по идее, вот так. Ну, все, вроде сюда. Квест сейчас дадим. И доберемся до нужной цели. Вроде сюда. Да. Вольный экон. О, привет. Че? Не в ту канализацию ты зашел, чувак. Нормально. Ух ты, подлюка. Лови. На тебе. И еще. И последний. Новый дневник. Ха. Решил голодовкой ее привязать к себе. Вы свободны. К сожалению, ваш отец мертв.
Miss Teasdale, are you all right?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My name is Dr. Reed. I managed to track you down thanks to your father.
So my father really was looking after me. This man, this vampire told me my father was dead. Is it true?
I'm afraid so, miss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you are free to go, as your abductor is no more.
I suppose my jailer also killed my father, didn't he?
Thankfully, he did not search your father's corpse, where I found his notes describing where he might find you. You should read them.
I must find my father's body. He deserves a proper burial.
Goodbye, Miss Teasdale.
Надеюсь, мы с ней потом встретимся. Исследование завершено. О, нам неплохо так дали опыта. Почти больше, чем 1500. И нам сюда? Не сюда. Оп. Пориком. Кажись, пришли. Погнали. Расспросить жителей. Ну, давай расспросим. Начнем с этого странного господина.
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
I work for the Ascalon Club. Here is my permit to go freely about the city.
The Ascalon Club? You should have said so, sir. I must warn you, these streets are dangerous, and you'd better be careful.
Do you know anything in particular about a man called Aloisius Dawson?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloisius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it, with just one phone call.
What are you investigating, exactly?
Mr. Kimura has been murdered. Always the same injuries. Wounds to the neck and massive blood loss. I'll stick to my homicidal maniac theory.
Do you know what else? What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Do you work alone?
Yes. The situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange, which requires police attention?
Does the name Fergal ring a bell? Fergal Bansha?
Of course it does. Fergal Bansha, the Butcher of Galway. Hung in Dublin in 1857 for murdering more than 20 men with his bare hands. Why are you so interested in dead criminals, sir?
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
What are you in? Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Так, с этим пообщались. Что у нас тут еще есть? Магазинчик.
Dr. Reid, I am glad to see you again.
Здрасте, здрасте.
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reid, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
Благодарю. Давай сначала поинтересуемся всем, потом поторгуем.
What can you tell me about yourself, Miss Price?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night. You, on the contrary, seem to have changed a lot.
Really? Have I changed that much? It must have been the war and the night shifts since my return.
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reed, you're still handsome. Just maybe a little bit wiser, more serious. It suits you well.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé? I remember you were hoping to get remarried. I'm sure you must have a few suitors.
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown daughter and a little business? As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
Как завуалировано подкатило.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this part of town recently?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up? Nothing at all, Dr. Reed.
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health when she was younger.
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's almost a young woman now, but she'll always remain my sweet little baby.
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her in real danger.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe I was a bad mother to protect her too much. My poor dear Carol.
You have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price, especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reed. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
Do you know Aloisius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though, looking for rare books and other intriguing antiques.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloisius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
May I look at your goods?
It's always a pleasure.
Давай посмотрим товар. В принципе, действительно неплохо. Давай. Вроде давно играю, до сих пор как сказать, к кнопкам, ну, как их тут на геймпаде назвать, не привык. В плане вот этого купить несколько, сразу. Давай по старинке. Заклепки нам пригодятся. И пластик. Так, чем продать можно. Кол Шарлотта, кинжал Жизель. Один хрен, вот это подороже. Давай его продать. Вот сколько он все. Давай, вот это я все равно ей не пользуюсь. Смотри, можно патроны продавать. Я же говорю, походу, из дорогого у них только название. Че у тебя со здоровьем? У тебя тоже все здоровы?
It's locked.
И наверняка, если Чтобы ключ получить, надо их убить.
Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reed? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum. Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Good to see you too, Carol. Are you all right?
Oh, yes. I did not hurt myself recently. I know how to take care of myself now. I'm almost a grown-up.
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh, yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died. We've always lived together, and she has always watched over me.
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Do you ever think about getting married now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be. No husband would like a clumsy girl like me.
Да, самооценка у нее так на высоте.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. And with the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Some of our regular customers have left London. Some others only send their housemaids now. Everybody fears the contagion. I've even seen men with weapons.
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithercote used to pass by and was always nice to me.
Does he not come by anymore?
No. Mum said he was weird. Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
Why are you awake at night, Carol?
I am helping my mother in her shop. It's not easy, but I'm a grown-up now.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your help.
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes. I drop things. I injure myself. It's a good thing my mother has the patience of an angel.
Why is work not easy? Is something or someone bothering you?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes. I pay no attention and hurt myself. Good thing my mum learned first aid.
Давай
Have you
так.
ever met the famous Aloisius Dawson?
Yes, a very strange man. Not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books, and then laughed at what we showed him.
Goodbye, Carol.
Ну, в принципе, это все.
I am sorry, I can't help you, sir. Perhaps you should talk to someone.
О, ты у нас болеешь.
Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical? You'll quickly feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Тут кровь. О, это убежище. Пополняем. И давай вот это исследуем. Нафиг не надо. А вот это вот полезно. Давай. Почему нет? Ну и вот так, когда эти закончатся, будем те юзать. Надо побольше опиума. Я могу улучшить кинжал? Вроде бы да. Отлично. Так, я брехуна не прокачал, да? Мезоклепок хватает. Качаем. Все. Шикарно. Старые пальцы. 130. Если ее качнем. Давай так. Ну-ка, если топорик на конечной стадии, он сколько дает? 275. Хорошая рукоять нужна. Давай сходим сюда. Кого бы нам еще расспросить? Надо кого-то расспросить. Опа. Здрасте. Задрали. Меняем. Что-то я сильно расслабился. Так, это тот самый особняк. Буду знать. Как раз рядом с убежищем. Люди, и вон там кто-то внизу. О, за вами подглядеть можно.
We should be far from town already. All right, but where would we go? Anywhere. Anywhere that isn't here. And what is that, by the way? A safer place? A less strange place? And where would that be? Life is strange, and we are alive. For now, yes, but for how long? If we decided to flee, we should be far from town already. All right, but where would we go?
Ой, опытик за подслушку. Ребят, вы спалены. Вот туда как-то можно выйти.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed? Dr. Reed?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... Your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name is Pericles Baker. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, sir. But it's a pleasure to meet you anyway.
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I only wish I could remember when it was that we met.
What can you tell me about Aloisius Dawson?
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his place in the world for a long time. I hope he found it.
And what do you do, sir? For a living, that is.
I stopped working when I decided to leave. When I realized what I wanted. Wanted something this city can't provide.
But what were you doing before you took this decision?
Does it really matter anymore? Considering the past seems so pointless to me. I have lived in this city all my life. And now I think it's over.
Tell me more about why you want to leave London, then.
I just don't belong here anymore. I had to convince my brother to leave London because I know we need to find another life out of the city.
Can you tell me anything about this district?
As you like asking questions so much, would you allow me to ask you one first?
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
I know we are not living in the most peaceful of times, but I have learned to appreciate London's complexity.
Yes, me too. This city tests us. It invites us to find ourselves, to discover our true nature scattered throughout its dark streets.
But what if we don't like what we find?
Do we ever know who we are? I wonder sometimes. Or maybe it is the journey to find out who we are that changes us.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night?
We are waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city as soon as possible.
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Tell me more about your strange feelings towards the city.
I would be happy to describe them, but it's too hard to explain with mere words what I'm feeling. It's unclear, too confused.
Go on, please.
Where should I start? The world is chaos. Men go mad and nature itself runs roughshod over us all.
This is not the first time mankind has faced a deadly epidemic or a war.
Men kill each other while nature decides to kill them all. I don't know what scares me the most. Do you?
Both can be disastrous, and a combination of the two merely increases their potency.
And what if they were just a sign of worse disasters to come? Something of biblical proportions, I wonder.
Who are you waiting for? I'm sure he has a name.
I really can't answer that question, since I don't know that person.
And why is that?
This person is mostly my brother's acquaintance. I don't even know his real name. Only that this man could help us leave this city once and for all.
But why would you need this person's help to leave London anyway?
Well, I thought we should have left this cursed place already, but my brother convinced me to stay a while longer, and here we are.
Ну, в принципе, все. Где брат? Братюня? Где твой братюня? Ладно, как найдем, так пообщаемся. А, вон он сидит. Понятно.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, please.
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know?
I suppose you're right.
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like...
Это я знаю.
What are you really afraid of, Agamemnon?
The problem is, it's precisely what I don't know that frightens me. So I suppose I can't really answer your question.
Who are you waiting for exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? That you're not in your place? That sort of trap.
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see.
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
Tell me, how long have you been waiting here?
I can't say for sure, since I have no watch. But the night is still young, and I am not tired.
Is that the most honest answer you can give me?
Yes, I think so. Why does it irritate you, sir? Is comprehension really that important to you?
I'm a scientist. I try my best to understand things. I know the world has to obey unbreakable rules.
You know, or you want the world to obey such rules?
I know one thing. I do not understand who you are.
And it's better that way. What kind of life would we live if we could summarize a person in a few words or a few lines?
If you finally manage to leave London, where do you intend to go?
A happy place, that's for sure. A place where I can smile because I know the next day will be better than the previous one.
Such a place doesn't exist. There are never any guarantees that tomorrow will be a better day.
That would mean I have no hope left, and I just can't accept such a conclusion.
Оптимист.
What can you tell me?
You should ask that question to my brother.
Понятно. Ка. Надо найти его. Человек, который мы видели, будто он внизу. Как не сюда? Это вроде здесь.
It's locked, all right.
Сейчас, погоди, я осмотрюсь.
Perhaps London will survive the epidemic. Jonathan Rid. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they tell me everything. They told me that you struggle hard not to take too many lives.
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloisius Dawson?
Aloisius Dawson. Yes, of course. We met on several occasions. With time, he got deeper and deeper into the occult.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloisius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
All right. Let me hear it.
The walls of your prison have already been raised, Jonathan. But you will freely accept to be locked inside, full of hope for a better day.
May I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate, and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
Can you read the cards for me?
Are you sure you...
Yes, I am.
It will cost you
Here is the money. Can you read the cards for me?
Put the money on the table then, Jonathan. And
Here is the money.
The Sorceress. A heart-shaped trap built to entangle a loved one. Mirrors on every wall to see her own reflection constantly.
Давай еще раз.
Can you read the cards for me?
Put the money on the table then, Jonathan.
Here is the money.
The Joker. A woman bent to obey and debase herself. A cruel gaze in the dark. A monster laughing at you.
Понятно, у кого неуклюжесть. Либо кто-то кого-то прикрывает.
Can you read the card?
Put the money...
Here is the money.
The snake. A bitter woman, smiling as she pours poison in your cup. A shaming betrayal. Hate.
О как. Давай еще.
Can you read the cards?
Put the money...
Here is the money.
The glutton. A man who just eats life as a cake. A righteous ego, surprised to fall in love.
Давай еще разочек.
Can you read... Can you...
The cards have nothing else.
А, серьезно?
Do you recall...
Goodbye. Fool and the Empress. Again. What are the cards trying to tell us?
Так, где же этот особняк? Да, вот он. Почти. Вот почему кровь. Ну все, вроде вы у жителей расспросили.
Dawson's mansion. Here I am at last. But the question remains. Am I ready to make a dying man my progeny?
Я думаю, нет. Мы столько о нем узнали, не очень приятного. Так что, думаю, скорее всего, я откажусь сделать его каким-то бессмертным. Вроде богач. Что-то совсем все плохо.
It's locked.
Так, ладно. Решаем.
Finally you're here, Dr. Reed. What?
I had to pass several of your barricades and outposts to access your mansion, sir.
Death, pestilence surround us, and time is against me.
I see you've gathered some of the most expensive, albeit experimental, blood transfusion equipment available. All this could be so useful in a hospital.
Yes, yes. Since Lord Redgrave sent me a doctor to perform my conversion, I thought you might find some of these devices useful.
Most thoughtful. But tonight I'm not here as a physician.
But I feel reassured that a specialist such as yourself would help me to escape the Reaper.
Very well. But before I proceed, I have a few questions for you.
If you must, but be quick, for I don't have much time left in this life.
First of all, I need to be sure that you know exactly what is going to happen to you, sir.
I can assure you I'm as informed as any man can be. I have planned for this moment, Dr. Reed. Planned very carefully.
I'm the only vampire in the room for now, so please indulge me.
All right, all right. What is it you wish to ask?
What do you know about the Guard of Prewin?
What I do know is that I'll crush anyone or anything that would dare to oppose me.
You'll need to feed on warm blood. Blood from mortals. How do you feel about that?
I'm rich, Dr. Reed, and powerful. I'm sure I'll be able to acquire all the blood I need without ever having to sully my own hands.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
Let's move on then.
Please, I'm cold and tired. I feel my life waning with every moment.
But first, before you embrace immortality, what would you do with such a gift?
That's a rather impertinent question, Dr. Reed, and I will do as I please.
Answer me all the same. What will your first action be as an immortal?
To save London. I will finance the most efficient quarantine ever seen. I will build a wall that will separate the sick boroughs from the healthy ones.
Who gave you the right to decide the fate of thousands of people?
My money. My money and my pending immortality gives me the needed authority, Doctor. I'm a businessman. I'm used to tough decisions.
You really plan to build a quarantine wall across London?
Yes, it will be tall and strong, separating the wheat from the chaff.
By doing so, you will also create two separate prisons.
Come, sir. An eminent doctor like yourself knows that such radical measures have proved efficient in the past.
Let me guess. You mean to isolate the rich from the poor?
This is a desperate measure for desperate times. England must prevail, Doctor, no matter the cost.
Quarantine is not a bad idea, medically speaking. But I'm convinced this epidemic will not be contained by mere walls.
As long as the right people are on the right side of the wall, that's all that matters.
But you can't guarantee infection will not spread. Just one contagious carrier would be enough to create an apocalypse.
The apocalypse is already knocking at the gate. We must be strong now.
What if a new outbreak happens inside your walls? You'll have created a giant trap.
That won't happen. As long as we dispose of anyone that is contaminated as soon as they are spotted.
I've heard enough. It's time to proceed.
At last! All right, do what you have to do. If it hurts, so be it. I've been preparing such a long time for this.
Я не буду делать его вампиром. Он до предела алчный, преследует только свои цели и то, что нужно ему. Ничьих советов, просьб или что-нибудь подобного он исполнять не намерен и не будет. И уж этот его изоляционный метод, давайте его загипнотизируем.
Listen to me, Aloisius Dawson. You will forget your fear of dying, for it has poisoned your mind and made you bitter and ruthless since the death of your twin brother.
You don't understand. Death is oblivion, the eternal void. I know there's nothing there. I saw it in Robert's empty eyes. I saw myself in that coffin.
Death is painful for those who remain, not for those who have passed. All that occult gibberish you filled your head with has made you forget this simple truth.
No! Death will not claim me. I have the power and the money. I've acquired the arcane knowledge needed. I believe there is magic, there are dark forces. You will provide me my extension.
Your ignorance makes you a fool. You have no idea. Look at me. Hunted like a beast, my family lost, cursed. I have not escaped death, I have become it.
No, there must be a way. I don't want to go like my brother did. I have money, lots of money.
Money won't ease your mind. I know you used to be a good and generous man. So I offer you the gift of peace, Aloisius. The tranquility of a true death.
I accept your offer. And I understand. No more fear, I will die a man of dignity. And a man at peace.
It's locked, all right.
Насколько я знаю, все оборудование, что он собрал, уйдет в Пембрукскую больницу. И мы этим поможем нашему рабочему месту. Я считаю, что я сделал правильно. Такой человек не должен становиться всевластным, тем более бессмертным.
Is it done, Dr. Reid? Is Aloisius Dawson reborn as expected?
I'm afraid Mr. Dawson finally chose to embrace life and death as a mortal.
What do you mean?
He has overcome his fear of dying. I let him rest and wait for death to come.
What? This is unacceptable. Go back there and make him the powerful Ekon he's destined to be.
No, Lord Redgrave. As a doctor and as an immortal, I can't. If you wish to make him your progeny, then proceed on your own.
This is an outrage beyond words. This is betrayal, pure and simple. I should kill you on the spot. You swore on William Marshall's blood.
Well, get rid of me then.
From now on, you're an outcast. Vanished. You are forbidden to ever appear in front of us again. Ascalon will smite you on sight, and your heart will be thrown to the rats.
I'll leave you then. Have fun with your puppets and shadow plays, Lord Redgrave.
Yes, go, traitor. And take that awful creature, that counterfeit of a woman I saw waiting for you, and be gone!
Ой-ой-ой, какие мы грозные. Что таким быть? Это он о ней говорил? Приветствую, Бриджит.
We meet again at the strangest of times, young Ekon. So do you serve the Earl of Bristol now?
Old Bridget, what are you doing here?
Your friend, the wise Ekon. She sent me to warn you.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
She came to us in the sewers in search of answers. Just as you did.
What kind of answers did you give her?
I knew nothing of your maker, but we talked. We talked a lot. Her words and ideas are captivating. It is no surprise that you like her. I like her too.
Lady Ashbury in the sewers? Now that's a sight I wish I'd seen.
She said she was your friend, and that she sought the identity of your maker. So I answered her questions.
Did anyone see you? It's a long way from the dock sewers, and hunters are patrolling the streets here.
Who said I took the streets? How do you think I survived for centuries in this city without ever being seen? I know all her secrets.
Lady Ashbury? You know her? Tell me what's going on.
The lady approached me but a few nights ago, wanting to meet the sewer skulls. Once she questioned Harriet Jones. She agreed to help us.
Harriet Jones is still with you then? How is she doing?
Harriet remains angry, but is recovering slowly. Her mind is twisted, but at least her body is healing.
Tell me what is going on.
The lady asked us to keep an eye on your mortal doctor friend while you were away. We spotted the hunters. They were discussing plans to attack tonight.
Wait, slow down. I need to ask you something.
I'm listening, but I do not have time to waste, so be quick.
How did Elizabeth find you?
She presented herself humbly at our gate and asked if we knew of any ancestral vampires hiding in London. She asked about Ascalon. She asked about many things.
What do you think of her?
Her soul is good, yet tainted with a deep sadness and the scars of ancient wounds. Time does that to us immortals, for we have so much to dwell upon.
Why did she come to you?
I am old Bridget, the buried memory of the city. She sought the silent truths, truths I have kept hidden for so long.
Why do I feel like Lord Redgrave was particularly irritated to see you? Far more so than the average Skull, if I may say.
Because I used to know him quite well, and he is afraid I may remember who he really is.
You're Elizabeth's informant. You're the one who told her about Lord Redgrave's lies regarding his lineage.
Yes, but my words were not meant to hurt or threaten. I simply told the story of the sewer skulls, and of so many other forgotten children.
Where is Lady Ashbury right now?
She said she will go home. She needed to speak with some old friends first, though. Do not worry, young Ekon. She is no fool, and just as strong as you.
No time to lose, then. I must go there right away.
I shall return to my den. Have you a message for the lady? Should I see her before you?
Tell her I worry about her.
Do not, for she has had strength and wisdom for so much longer than you. Go now and take care, young Ekon, for the flames are rising.
Что ж, нам нужно спешить в Пембрукскую больницу, выяснить, что же произошло. Но, как вы поняли, этим мы и займемся уже в следующий раз. Нам нужно перевести, восстановить силы, поднакопить. Почему не могу юзать способность? Странно. Ладно, пофиг. Так сказать, переварить все, что у нас тут произошло, и так далее, и тому подобное. И также прокачать навыки. Чтобы нам прокачать. Чтоб такое бы. Я не знаю. Давай этот прокачаем. Иногда может пригодиться. Ну и в принципе все. Смотри, помер. Шикарно. Помог больницам в этом районе. Так, тут все живы-здоровы. Тут... Восхитительно. Великолепно. Просто потрясающе. Но мой выше 70 уже не поднимется, так как у нас 4 человек мертвы. Тут 2. Нам за что-то еще дали 2 патрона. Что ж, нам нужно будет наведаться в Пембрукскую больницу, там что-то срочное, но сделаем мы это в следующий раз. А сегодня у нас все. Так что будем прощаться. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Ставьте лайки и подписывайтесь на канал. И, конечно же, не забываем заглядывать в паблик во ВКонтакте. А с вами мы увидимся в ближайшее время. Пока.